Yo, what's up YouTube? Tigz here, bringing you guys another Scaving Tarkov video. It's been a while since we've done a video formatted like this, so we just talk about the game and upcoming changes and things I'm looking forward to and things I'm not looking forward to, and just overall a general talk. I'm not going to try and make this video long. I'm going to try and keep it sweet and short, just so you guys can, understand where I'm coming from. I know a lot of you guys wanted this video, so here it is. Basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to react to the stuff that was said on the podcast from 2 weeks ago, give my opinions on what I think I like and concerns about certain stuff like that. Level locking is something that I've always liked the idea of in Tarkov. I understand why it's not in the game. I do think it is kind of cool though, because it sets like a level of progression for people to look forward to. Obviously, I think this new map that they're releasing is a stepping stone for new players to like start the game and get used to it and get comfortable with it. Nikita did mention in the podcast as well that the new map doesn't have as much loot as other maps would, and obviously the level lock. He also did mention as well that you can scav into this map. Now, scaving is a massive thing in Tarkov. I was going to say problem there, but I stopped myself. I think scaveng's a great thing for Tarkov, and that's a whole different topic. But the new map being allowing players to scav into it is definitely going to be interesting. Scav running in this game is probably one of the most overpowered things you can do. Obviously, leveling your scav rep, getting it higher is massively beneficial as you spawn in with better gear, better money, better loot. And overall, the more you do it, the more reward you get from scav running, which would kind of contradict the whole idea of the new map in general. From what I could tell is Nikita wanted this map to be in the game for new players to get used to the game, not let people that have got max scav karma bully them. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I mean, I'm happy to get to experience that map either way. So, okay, so moving on to the really hot topics now. This is going to be like the most... These are like the most game-changing things that will ever happen to the game, which could completely push streamers away from the game, push players away from the game, and just completely change people's opinion on Tarkov completely. So, yeah. My opinion from what I've seen and what you're about to see from this podcast, I actually think vaulting is like a 9 out of 10. Surprisingly, this is one of the features that I was worried about coming to the game, and I'll explain to you why I'm still worried about it now. But the animations, the speed at which you vault, it looks so smooth. It looks like it's going to make a lot of encounters just by playing raids more enjoyable to navigate through the map. As you know, there's a lot of areas on the maps where it's a bit annoying to jump over stuff, and if there was vaulting, it would make it very easy. The vaulting, in my opinion, is great, and so far from what I've seen, BSG's done a great job on it. The one thing I will note that worries me about it, they didn't show if the jumping is still in the game. Now, we don't know. I did ask a dev and none of them got back to me about it, which is unusual. Usually they do tell me if that is the case or not, or hint towards it. You'll see in the trailer, they vault over stuff and it's really quick, which is nice, but they don't actually show any jumping. And what I mean to that is they vault onto a cinder block, and there's a gap between that cinder block and a wall that you would have to normally jump over to get over. But instead of showing what happens next, they cut it out. So either he walks up to it and vaults over it like normal, or he jumps over it, or they've completely removed jumping altogether and it's only vaulting in the game, which is something that may happen and nobody really knows, but they've speculated at things like this in the past. So that's why I'm saying this is a massive change for the game, and it could dictate a lot of things that goes on with Tarkov and the metas and what people dislike or like about the game. So we'll have to wait and see till that's actually in the game. But if jumping is gone from the game, you can expect a ton of drama. Personally, from me, I'm not a fan of jumping being removed, obviously, because I like to do all the fun jumping stuff and the parkour. That stuff's really fun for me in Escape from Tarkov when the game starts to become a bit stale. You know, it's fun to just do stupid stuff like that, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's the vaulting stuff. It's going to be a massive one. Okay, so this clip right here is what I was talking about. So I don't know if you guys know this, but between this cinder block thing and this wall, there's not enough height for you to just like... There's height there, right? There's distance. You can't just walk over it. You've got to either jump or vault over it. They don't show if they actually jumps over it or vaults over it, but it's definitely something that may happen. So if it does come to the game, I wouldn't be surprised. It's definitely a Tarkov thing to do. This is by far the biggest change Tarkov will ever experience, and there's been drama about this for like months since it's announced. I'm say how it is and my thoughts on it. So, armor system. In my opinion, I'm not excited for this. I think it may be something that could sway the game into a negative down spiral. And I know people are just saying, oh, you just want to talk shit. I'm not. I'm being genuinely serious. These changes are so big for the game that it could dictate the way everybody plays or enjoys the game, like massively, right? And what I mean by that is So the way the current armor system works is simplified, I would say. The best example to give you for this is armors that protect the thorax, the stomach, and the arm are generally the better armors in Escape from Tarkov. And then on top of that, you've got the tier classes. So as you go through wipes, typically as a full wipe goes through, tier 4, tier 5, and tier 6 are like your best armors overall. And that's the meta of the game. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty boring, 100%. And there's a lot of issues with that too. But this new system completely removes all of that and makes it very complicated. And my theory here, okay, if you hear me out, with this new upcoming armor system, not only is it going to complicate for new players to learn how to build armor, it's also going to burn massive amounts of time making a loadout. And once you get into raid, there's going to be so many different areas that you can get shot from and killed from. It's going to make it very frustrating when you die to these things, which is overall going to make the experience of getting armor and equipping it and customizing it more annoying when you're in a raid, which could do two things. One, it could be really good because that could make people more engaged with the game and enjoy the customization of like being able to, you know, do what they want with their armor, for example. A lot of people like that for sure. But then it could also, on the other hand, it could force a meta where people don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of rubles to make a good piece of armor to just get one tap to a cheater or die to desync or die to a squad of players camping an extract. And what that could spiral into is people just going in with no armor, an SVT, an AVT, budget broken weapons, camping extracts, right in corners, like, you know, just the typical Tarkov things. And that could force a meta. Just like back in the day when we had Hatchet running took over the game for a long time. You know how that was. Obviously, that it is what it was, and people, you know, came to hate that. This could also cause a form of that with this new armor system. And the reason why I say this is because, as you'll see in a second when Nikita shows this, there is like 13 or 14 different areas of protection that you have to put armor on, okay? We don't know 100% how the armor system works, but from what we've seen, it's pretty much easy to like identify what their idea is. So there's like 13, for example, with Thor, there's like 13 different spots you can put armor on. Each armor plate has different tier class. So you've got like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, just like in the normal game. Tier 6 being the best. Now, as you guys know, tier 3 is good against like buckshot and like very low pen shotgun ammos and stuff like that. So in certain scenarios, having buckshot protect areas like your waist would be very handy, and like your upper shoulder, I guess, stuff like that. But it, as you can tell by me just explaining it, it's very confusing, right? And complicated. But this is the catch. Each individual plate has negative drawbacks. So if you guys remember, in the current armor system, you've got movement speed, you've got ergonomics, and you've got turn speed. From what I saw, every single plate, regardless of the tier, had negative penalties for equipping those. So, for example, if you brought a Thor armor in, or a Zabralo, for example, and you wanted to make it full tier 6, or just decent, you're probably going to have like minus 50% movement speed, which, sure, some people are going to like it. But my point to this is, that's going to funnel a lot of the players into the game to not move. Now, if that happens, I'm ready to do that. You know, this wipe has taught me a lot about the game and adapting and getting comfortable ratting. And I'll be honest with you, as much as I used to love being good at the game and running around and killing people, I don't get the same satisfaction anymore, as the people that I fight in Tarkov don't want to experience that. So now I enjoy Tarkov by being the rat that kills me. People get salty about it, but I'll be honest with you, it's fun. And I completely understand now as the game shifted. But anyways, back to the point. Those penalties are going to completely like force people into playing slower, right? So you're going to spend 500k on armor, customize it, go into a raid, have minus like 50% movement speed, be penalized for moving around because, one, you're loud, right? You're going to be really loud because the weight system. And then two, the movement speed's going to be so slow that fast gameplay and aggressive gameplay isn't going to be complemented in wearing these armors. So I know that might sound confusing, but as you can see with what I'm saying, it's a lot to take in, and it's a big game changer for Tarkov. And then on top of that, not only do you have the plates having the percentages, the higher the tier class, the worse the negative percentages look, from what I can tell. So the better the tier class you get, the worse it's going to be. And then for one more thing to that, the armor itself that you buy, that armor also has negative feedbacks. So all of those things stacking on top of each other, it's really going to, like, in my opinion, I think the game's just going to slow down. And I think Tarkov's going to really turn into like a stealth game. I don't think it's going to be a game about skill. Don't get me wrong. There's skill in stealth. but not in terms of like, you know, first-person shooter and having good game knowledge to peek stuff and have peek things correctly and fight players. It's going to be a game. It's going to be a completely different skill gap, right? It's going to be a game of stealth. Not my liking, but like I said, I'm ready to adapt to it. I enjoy streaming the game, and people enjoy watching me play, so I'm ready for that if that happens. I have been preaching about that a lot this wipe, and I think that is genuinely what's going to happen to the game. It's going to turn into like some Splinter Cell shit. Everyone's going to be ratting, crabbing, not moving from their spawns. I really doubt that people are going to really want to deal with these penalties and have to rebuild their kits and go in again and die to stuff like that. But yeah, so now moving on to the next part of this video. They talk about shoulder swapping, so when you aim in the scope like that with the gun, you can do it with this way, so you can put the gun to your left shoulder. With the way Tarkov works, I don't think it's going to massively benefit PvP, but because of the way the cameras are positioned in this game, but I do think it's going to make PvP more enjoyable in those encounters where you are stuck on a left side peak. Because as you know in Tarkov, being stuck on a left side peak and trying to shoot when your camera's this way and you can't flip your gun, it's just really annoying and clunky. And as you see, I think this is really good. I'll give this a solid 9 out of 10 as well. It's great for the game. It's a nice quality of life. Is it going to make PvP a million times better? No. Is it going to make PvP better though? Yes, in those certain scenarios. And there's also new blind fire mechanics. I don't think blind fire mechanics in this game are very interesting. I think they do have a specific niche sometimes, but most of the time it's better to just like throw a nade or push or something like that. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people like this. One more thing I forgot to mention as well. Recoil. This is probably a big disagreement between everyone in the Tarkov community. I'm on the side of guns having less recoil because it adds less RNG to the game when fighting players. I don't like the fact that when guns have high recoil, Timmy shoots a gun full auto, the bullets are going left, right, and center. Oh, boom, one hit me in the head, I'm dead with a tier 6 on. I don't like that. I'd rather that guy have a gun that's got less recoil. I've got less recoil. We're both fighting each other. And whoever's got the better aim wins. I think that's more fun and enjoyable. That's just my opinion. I get why other people don't like that. I know you can say what you want. This isn't COD or whatever. That's just what I like. I've always enjoyed that when I found Tarkov. But this new recoil system, okay? Current Tarkov recoil, I would say, is a 6 out of 10. Some guns are really good. Other guns are useless. There's hundreds of guns that don't get used because the recoil's terrible. This new recoil system that they show on this, in my opinion, I would give it a 7 or 8 out of 10 from what I can tell. Bearing in mind, he is standing up, so he doesn't have the reduced recoil, and he is using a really bad build and a really bad scope. My biggest gripe with Tarkov, I wish all guns were viable, and I wish all Tarkov builds were viable. There's thousands of attachments in this game, and only 3 of them are meta on every single gun because of the recoil. If the recoil on all guns and all builds was relatively similar, and only the top meta stuff would be, you know, a decent bit better, then I think it would be more fun for everyone to have that variety in those raids. But yeah, this is something I've wanted for a long time. When he says viewer profiles, by the way, I don't think you can view other players that aren't on your friends list, unfortunately. I think that should just be a thing in general in the game. Anyway, if you get cheated on and you're suspicious of someone, you can view his profile and see all that stuff. It would make you feel a lot better if you could tell if it was a cheater or not. Unfortunately, from what I've been told, it is friends only. So if you got friends added in game, you can view their profile. It will showcase their stats, their favorite weapons, all their achievements, etc, etc. Pretty cool. I like it. But the biggest thing out of this for me is the achievements. They're finally adding like a sense of completionist to the game that's official, which I think for streamers is great. And just in general, I think this is fun. I think there's going to be a lot more longevity with this, and it's going to make it more competitive in that side of things, where like streamers will be trying to be the, you know, the first to complete the game or whatever. So I'm excited for this.
Ой, не, все правильно, все правильно. Оп, ачивочка.
As you can see, kill Sherman, silence of the sawmill, new achievement. A lot of people will be like, whatever, this doesn't matter, but I think a lot of people will like this too. I personally do. That concludes it. Thank you for watching, boys. Appreciate all the love on the video. Please make sure you comment on the video, like if you enjoyed the video. I tried to be as honest as I am with everything. Hope you enjoyed my takes and stuff like that. I think overall this next patch is actually looking pretty positive, so we're gonna have to wait and see. Anyways, make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for watching till the end, and goodbye.